Open book, welcome, curious minds and midnight dreamers. You're about to enter a world where stories come alive and every word holds a secret. So grab a cozy seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let me take you on a journey you won't forget. This is story time like you've never heard before. Crescent moon. How could I have ever foreseen that the very child who had lent a hand with the coffee maker would cross the threshold of my home, only for me to realize, in a moment of sheer horror, that I had carelessly left my toys and some deeply personal clothing scattered across the couch. Unbeknownst to them, that one fleeting moment would irrevocably change the trajectory of their lives. A shroud of isolation wrapped around me, thick and suffocating. As I drew closer to the coffee maker, an unexpected turn of events loomed, set in motion by the man at the store. Today I would not walk alone. Who could have predicted that an inexperienced young man would step into my world and guide it down such an unexpected road? I must reveal everything to you. At 60, I stand at the precipice of reflection, gazing into the depths of a life woven with threads of solitude. 15 long years of solitude had etched their mark on my soul, each day a journey through the echoes of my past. In this vast expanse of loneliness, there existed intimate moments and cherished belongings, treasures that were mine alone, whispering secrets of a life once shared. In reality, I depended on them so often that I was utterly unaware when I carelessly left them out in the very center of the living room. It could have been nothing more than a routine, or perhaps it was my frantic struggle to bridge the gaping chasm of loneliness that consumed me. That morning, however, hung heavy with an unsettling air of normalcy, as if the world held its breath, teetering on the edge of something unknown. A seemingly straightforward plan to buy a coffee maker soon erupted into a chaotic series of events that would alter the course of everything. It was the young man, Noah, who emerged as the unexpected hero, his offer of assistance shifting the very course of events. The moment I flung the door wide and let him step inside with that mysterious box, I had no inkling that what started as a mundane day was about to spiral into an adventure beyond my wildest imagination. Noah was 23, a beacon of anticipation, exuding warmth, and alive with an electric energy that seemed to pulse through the air around him. As he stepped over the threshold of my house, the coffee maker held firmly in his grasp. His eyes roamed through every shadowy corner, pausing with a piercing intensity that sent a chill racing down my spine. In that instant, his eyes locked onto something utterly unforeseen. The remnants of my childhood lay strewn across the couch, toys and beloved articles of clothing, each a silent witness to the echoes of moments that once danced in the air. Their presence had woven itself into the very fabric of my existence, so seamlessly entwined with my daily routine that I had become blind to the gaping chasm their absence would create. To me, they seemed like the most ordinary detail of the house, easily overlooked yet quietly holding the essence of its story. Noah's smile was a mere whisper, a spark of curiosity igniting within him as he crossed the threshold into the living room. "So, you find yourself in solitude, do you?" he asked, the question suspended in the air, crackling with unvoiced implications. His eyes glimmered with a playful intrigue, suggesting hidden truths waiting to be revealed. Heat surged through my cheeks, a vivid crimson igniting my face. It hit me like a thunderclap, leaving me disoriented and completely unready to confront the whirlwind that followed. What began as a straightforward task of setting up the coffee maker quickly unraveled into a tangled web of unforeseen complications. For so long, I shrouded the most intimate facets of my life in secrecy, concealing them from the prying eyes of the world. The weight of my loneliness pressed down on me, an unyielding shadow I vowed never to share with another soul. "Noah, please," I implored, my voice trembling with a tempest of unspoken feelings. "Let's just pretend you didn't see any of this." The very foundations of my desires shattered, scattering into dust and plunging me into a tempest of despair. Noah's eyes bore into mine, a smile dancing at the corners of his mouth, stirring a whirlwind of uncertainty deep inside me. "Whatever you say," he replied, his voice dripping with an eerie tranquility. "Yet, these matters cannot be easily dismissed. They seize the spotlight with an intensity that mirrors your own presence." That plunged me deeper into a sea of overwhelming emotions. I averted my gaze, my voice trembling as I pleaded, "Noah, please, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more tales like this. Prepare yourself. Once you hear this tale in its entirety, you won't be able to resist the urge to share your thoughts. Let us plunge into the depths of this discussion below. I find myself on the precipice of anticipation, yearning to uncover your insights. Yet, in the shadow of the moment's gravity, he forged ahead, his warmth and sincerity radiating like a beacon in the dark. It's entirely normal to feel this way when you're alone, he said, his eyes now ablaze with a newfound intensity. Every one of us harbors our own yearnings, can't you feel it? Yet, there are times when this just doesn't quite capture the essence, does it? The weight of his words hung heavily in the air, a thick tension enveloping the silence that followed, as if the very atmosphere held its breath in anticipation. He appeared to be reaching for me, his approach a fragile ballet of bravery and gentleness, every second thick with unvoiced tension. Our eyes met, a jolt of electricity hanging in the air, time itself seeming to pause in that intense instant. In that instant, an undeniable force surged between us, a magnetic pull that crackled with unspoken desire, an intensity simmering in the air, thick and electric. Noah's warm gaze enveloped me, stirring a whirlwind of emotions deep within. With every heartbeat, the space between us dwindled, the atmosphere heavy with expectation, each word he spoke cutting deep into my soul. In that instant, a tidal wave of emotion surged within me, unearthing a truth I had never faced before. Noah observed, a strange spark flickering to life in his eyes the instant you stepped in to claim the coffee maker. You sparked a fire inside me that I never believed could exist. The silence enveloped me, heavy and suffocating, as I grappled with my thoughts, searching for the words that would break the stillness. What words could ever capture my thoughts? My emotions churned within me, a tempest of conflicting feelings. Yet, the battle against this magnetic force felt impossibly overwhelming. Yet, deep within, an undeniable force stirred, unveiling emotions that surged with a depth far beyond the surface. Noah had dug his way deep beneath my skin, his presence enveloped me, his mannerisms danced in the air, and his voice resonated deep within, igniting a storm of emotions that threatened to consume me. Completely at ease, utterly captivating, the fight to conceal my genuine feelings grew fiercer, every second a war against the piercing scrutiny of my own gaze. A thick silence enveloped the room, pressing down like a weight, until I shattered it with a voice that barely rose above a whisper. I've been trapped in these jeans and this shirt for what feels like an eternity. They're closing in, their presence a relentless weight, as they strive to ease the mounting tension. I must find a way to embrace a version of myself that truly resonates within. Make yourself at home as though this space were yours to claim. Noah's gaze ensnared me, drawing me into its depths. The compulsion to avert my gaze clawed at me, a relentless force, yet I found it utterly impossible to yield. An irresistible force bound me to him, the space that separated us dissolving with every thrum of my heart. Upstairs, I slipped into a sleek figure-hugging spaghetti-strap dress, the fabric clinging to me like a second skin, igniting a thrilling rush of anticipation within. With a decisive flick of my brush, I perfected my makeup, adrenaline surging as I moved toward the kitchen. As I descended, my eyes locked onto Noah, standing like a shadow by the living room door, an unsettling presence that sent a chill down my spine. His gaze, electric with an unvoiced urgency, locked onto me, creating a heavy tension that hung in the air. For an agonizing moment I stood frozen, ensnared by a web of uncertainty, while my thoughts tumbled into a whirlwind of chaos. Very well, I pondered, young man, your intentions are strikingly clear. You seem to be the elusive treasure I've been yearning to find. Let's plunge into the depths of this adventure. I grappled with my swirling thoughts, pretending not to notice the intensity of his gaze as I took a purposeful step closer to him. Noah, I breathed, my voice dripping with playful challenge. Do you find yourself standing solitary in this very moment? Do you have a girlfriend? Or do you feel the weight of solitude wrapping around you as the night deepens? As I locked eyes with him, a fierce spark flared to life inside me. We stood at the edge where every word, every gesture, every brief look throbbed with a fervor that suggested hidden realities waiting to be unveiled. As I caught a glimpse of the excitement and timid curiosity flickering in his eyes, a smile slowly emerged, almost involuntarily, from the depths of my soul. Once the coffee maker is set up, shall we embark on the journey of brewing some coffee together? I spoke, my voice trembling slightly, revealing the tempest raging inside me. Let us plunge into a captivating dialogue. Unfold your tale before me, revealing every intricate detail that has forged your very essence. As I approached him, a fierce warmth enveloped me, unleashing a tempest of emotions within my soul. Every subtle detail about him pulls me in, an enchanting force that ensnares my very being. Noah collapsed into the chair, but restlessness clawed at him, each twitch a fierce struggle against the discomfort that devoured his determination. With purpose, I advanced and placed my chair right next to his, closing the distance between us. As I pressed it firmly beneath me, my skirt inched up ever so slightly, a mere whisper of a few centimeters, teasing the edge of modesty. Still, I felt its presence keenly. Noah's eyes lifted, hovering just on the brink of a connection with mine. A moment thick with unspoken tension. The weight of his gaze enveloped me, a palpable force that spoke of unwavering sincerity. I stole a glance at him, my heart pounding in my chest as I tried to unravel the significance of this unexpected closeness, a smile dancing at the corners of my lips. As I crossed my legs with intention, I leaned back, my arm cascading over the chair's backrest, an electric tension crackling in the atmosphere. Did the fire of impatience burn within you as you awaited this moment? I playfully teased, weaving a thread of intrigue into the air, thick with anticipation. Yet, the unspoken tension between us grew thicker, crackling in the air like a storm waiting to unleash its fury. Noah, uncertainty flickering in his gaze yet resolute in his stare, asked, "How old are you?" His voice quivered, suspended in a fragile dance of wonder and profound reverence. I was convinced you loomed at an astonishing 50 feet. A spark flickered to life in my eyes. Did he truly think I was 50? That was captivating and unexpectedly complimentary. A smile slowly emerged on my face, even as the gravity of the moment pressed down on me. Do you find yourself drawn to those who have reached the age of 50? I raised an eyebrow, a mischievous smile flickering across my lips as I studied him closely. Each word, each fleeting moment exchanged between us pulled us further into an intoxicating intimacy. Fueled by the intensity of the moment, the wonder in his eyes was unmistakable. He seemed completely entranced by my presence. "No, that's not what I meant," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, each syllable dripping with a raw vulnerability that hung heavy in the air. "Your youth and beauty hold an enchanting allure that draws all eyes in your direction." His words echoed in my mind, a relentless specter that burdened me with their gravity. A fiery heat surged within me, electrifying every nerve, ending with a force that stole my breath away. Yet, an unsettling feeling clawed at my insides, shrouding my thoughts in a thick, dark fog. With each inch that brought me nearer, the weight of the moment pressed down, transforming the next step into a perilous gamble. A heavy silence enveloped us, thick with the weight of unspoken words, each moment stretching like a taut string ready to snap. With a sharp intake of breath, my heart pounded in my chest as I summoned every ounce of courage to voice the question that had been haunting me. Is there a remarkable presence that ignites your heart and stirs your soul? Are you really by yourself? What actions do you take when the shadows wrap around you, leaving you in isolation? Questions swirled in my mind, igniting a fire of anticipation mingled with a flicker of anxiety as I awaited T's response. Noah's voice fell to a hushed murmur, his eyes boring into mine with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "I'm alone," he whispered, the weight of his words pressing down like a thick fog, enveloping the room in a palpable silence. In that fleeting moment, a powerful certainty washed over me. I was convinced he truly was isolated in the stillness, yet it was a loneliness that gnawed at his very soul, a haunting presence he never truly wished to embrace. Our gazes collided, suspended in time, and I felt the intensity of my gaze bearing down on him like a heavy shroud. A deep transformation began to awaken inside me. As I lingered in anticipation, my emotions surged with intensity, and a sense of urgency enveloped me. A sense of urgency washed over me. I knew I had to move quickly. "Tonight will not unfold that way," I declared, my voice steady, infused with an unyielding determination. As my eyes locked onto his, every word that escaped my lips bore the weight of profound meaning. In that fleeting moment, the heavy burden of an imminent change bore down upon me, suffocating yet exhilarating. "Noah, come here," I beckoned, my voice a low whisper, infused with an irresistible charm. With a piercing gaze, I focused on the room with the bed, then turned away, my resolve unshakable and my determination fierce. Without a doubt, he would pursue, irresistibly pulled into the swirling turmoil. The sound of his footsteps echoed ominously behind me, his breath growing faster, each exhale thick with a palpable tension that hung in the air. As we crossed the threshold into the bedroom, Noah halted, his body rigid just inside the doorway. His shoulders were drawn tight, a quiet acknowledgement of the gravity of the moment, while his face radiated a fierce intensity, overflowing with expectation. I turned to face him, and there it was, a tempest of uncertainty battling against a spark of exhilaration etched across his features. "Noah, are you ready to face the challenges that await you?" I asked, my voice steady but laced with a thrilling tension that hung in the air. I edged nearer, a sly smile playing on my lips, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced secrets. "Can you sense the profound layers of my experience, hidden beneath the surface?" Inhale deeply, letting the tension slip away. "There's nothing to fear in this moment." I extended my hand, hovering just above his shoulder, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced emotions as I edged nearer. That fleeting touch, delicate yet electrifying, unraveled the knots of tension within him, sparking a fierce thrill that coursed through his veins. In that fleeting moment, Noah's vibrant spirit collided with the unyielding confidence and steadfast decisiveness I had honed through the relentless trials of time. With trembling hands, I slowly allowed the straps of my dress to glide down my shoulders. The fabric caressed my skin, flowing downwards in a mesmerizing, eerie fall. Noah's gaze bore into me, laden with unvoiced secrets. A tempest of wonder, intrigue, and longing swept through the atmosphere. A storm brewed deep inside, but my expression revealed not a whisper of its fury. I crept nearer, the oppressive silence wrapping around us, thickening the air with the weight of unvoiced thoughts. My fingertips grazed his cheek, a momentary spark that lingered in the charged atmosphere as I held my breath, waiting for his next move. Noah hesitated, a shadow of doubt flickering across his features, before he leaned in closer, the air thick with tension. His gaze seared with an intensity that revealed an unyielding resolve, igniting a thrill that crackled in the air around us. His hand rested on my waist, a magnetic pull that brought him closer, until our lips met in a fervent clash, igniting a spark that coursed through me like electricity. His kiss sparked a tumultuous mix of bravery and innocence, every caress infused with an untamed, primal desire that drew me further into the storm of our encounter. With a heart weighed down by sorrow, I slowly backed away, each step drawing me closer to the bed, a silent witness to the unvoiced words and tangled emotions that lingered in the air. I let myself sink down onto it, every motion deliberate and measured, thick with a palpable sense of anticipation. The frigid surface pressed against my skin, sending a jolt through my body, intensifying the tension that simmered just beneath the surface. I stole a fleeting look at Noah, my heart pounding as unvoiced emotions lingered in the charged silence that enveloped us. He stood frozen, a tempest of doubt raging inside him, immobilized by the heavy burden of his impending decision. "No, come here," I implored, my voice laced with urgency. My voice, a husky whisper laced with an irresistible allure, glided through the air as my fingers danced along the bed, pausing on the empty space beside me, heavy with unspoken longing. "Rest now, for the shadows that stretch around you hold no terror." Noah crept closer, each step measured and intentional, as he carefully lowered himself beside me. We hung in a moment that felt eternal, every heartbeat resonating in the deepening silence that surrounded us. I turned to him, my hand lingering softly on his chest, and in a whisper that seemed to hang in the air, I asked, "Have you ever pondered this moment? Can you truly grasp it, Noah?" Noah's gaze pierced through me, unyielding and electric. "More than just a fleeting thought," he uttered, his voice quaking under the burden of disbelief, yet I never dared to believe it could actually unfold. In that fleeting moment, all uncertainties vanished, eclipsed by the heavy burden of the unknown that awaited. We were entwined, our bodies merging as we plunged into the profound depths of our emotions. Neither of us could foresee the path ahead. Yet one undeniable truth flickered like a flame in my mind. The thrill I felt with Noah was a deep yearning I had chased with fervor. As I lay beside him, a thrilling fire ignited within me, surging with an intense wave of courage. I sat on the edge of the bed, my heart pounding as I met Noah's gaze, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced emotions, before I stood up to face him. As I leaned slightly towards him from the head of the bed, our eyes locked in a fierce gaze, capturing the storm of surprise and anticipation that danced across his features. "Noah," I implored, my voice a soft yet resolute murmur that hung in the air. "This evening we find ourselves wrapped in the warmth of each other's presence, tethered by a silent yet profound bond that pulses between us. Noah's throat constricted, his eyes locked onto mine, and in the stillness between us, an unspoken understanding hung in the air, a testament to his deep comprehension of the weighty truth I had just unveiled. His hands gripped the edge of the bed with a desperate intensity, but a spark of newfound courage ignited in his eyes. With a measured, tantalizing slowness, I drew nearer to his face, my hands gently cradling his cheeks, as if savoring the moment. "Let's seize this moment tonight," I breathed, my lips inching closer to his, the air thick with anticipation. "Do not dare to question anything. Instead, plunge into the depths of the unknown with unyielding bravery." Noah's breath quickened, each gasp a frantic whisper of urgency. Yet he stood his ground unwavering, determined not to yield even for a heartbeat in that ephemeral moment. We were both escaping the stifling hold of our solitude, yearning for the comfort found in the glow of one another's company. Noah's breath quickened, each gasp shallow and frantic. His eyes blazed with an unquenchable fire, desperately capturing every ephemeral detail of the moment, as though he longed to etch it indelibly into the fabric of his memory. He hesitated, a heartbeat suspended in time, before his hands found their way to my waist, a tantalizing mix of boldness and uncertainty crackling in the air around us. That initial hesitancy ignited into a fierce desire. As I struggled to control my own breath, an intense wave of emotion surged within me, clamoring for recognition. "No," I breathed, my fingers quivering as they explored the contours of his face. "This sensation engulfs me, a breathtaking wave of intensity that leaves me gasping." Noah locked his eyes with unwavering intensity, his voice rich and resonant, yet tinged with a warmth that could not be ignored. "I feel your emotions, but doesn't it seem as though everything is racing forward at breakneck speed? This sensation I hold is all-encompassing, a stunning power that engulfs my very being. It's evident that I've never encountered a scenario as intense as this." A smile emerged on my lips, a glimmer of warmth piercing through the encroaching shadows of doubt. I leaned in, my heart pounding in my chest, and pressed a soft kiss on his forehead, the air thick with unvoiced feelings that hung between us. "Noah, there are instances when life reveals its splendor in the most unexpected ways." As I spoke, my voice steady yet charged with urgency, I implored you to release the grip of analysis, to surrender to the moment and allow it to envelop you completely. Noah paused, the air thick with tension, as his hand slipped from my waist, slowly ascending, pulling me closer into his orbit. Our breaths mingled, the space that once separated us dissolving into a charged closeness. In that fleeting moment, the heavy burden of possibility enveloped us, a silent promise that everything could shift, irrevocably altering our lives. In an instant, Noah found himself breathless, yielding entirely, surrendering every ounce of control he once held. As I had foreseen, he charged ahead with unwavering determination, and the thrill of it all was utterly intoxicating. As I lay beside him afterward, his expression glowed with pure joy, as if he had finally cast off the heavy burdens that had weighed him down for so long. Noah's powerful embrace surrounded me, pulling me closer with an intensity that sent my heart into a wild frenzy. My head rested against his chest, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat resonating in the stillness, each pulse a poignant reminder of the delicate moment we were entwined in. The rhythmic sound pulsed through the air, weaving a haunting tapestry of comfort and unexpected thrill. Little did I know, my fingers started to dance gently across his chest, each caress infused with a silent electric tension. Noah drew in a sharp breath, his voice trembling, barely escaping his lips. "Brittany," this feeling surging within me, "it's a force unlike anything I've ever known. Never before have I experienced such profound tranquility and serenity." His voice quivered, a potent mix of unfiltered truth and startling disbelief. I smiled, but the weight of unspoken words held me back from meeting his gaze. My head lay against his chest, and an electric tension crackled in the air between us. "Is that really how it is?" I murmured quietly. "Yeah, really," he continued, his hand gliding to my back, pulling me closer with a fervor that ignited a thrilling chill down my spine. "From the very beginning of my journey, I have chased a dream that slips through my fingers like sand. In a twist of fate I could never have foreseen, I found myself suspended in time, fully immersed in a moment so profound it took my breath away. In this fleeting moment shared with you, the weight of every struggle and sacrifice crystallizes into profound significance." His words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, igniting a fierce blaze deep within, awakening emotions I had long buried and never knew were there. As I lay there, the steady rhythm of his breaths wrapping around me like a warm embrace, I whispered, "Noah, just being with you awakens a fire inside me that I thought had long been extinguished." Unbelievable. Noah's fingers wove through my hair, a hint of a smile dancing on his lips, brimming with unvoiced feelings. "It seems we have each offered the other exactly what we were yearning to find." He spoke, his voice laden with deep thought. I lifted my gaze, just enough to steal a fleeting glimpse of him. The raw honesty and palpable relief etched across his face told a story all its own. "Then let's just leave it like this," I said, the weight of unspoken words pressing down on us, thick and suffocating. "Let us dive deep into this ephemeral instant." Noah nodded slowly, the weight of unspoken agreement pressing down like a storm cloud ready to burst. We lingered in that sacred space, our bodies intertwined, as the electric pulse of the moment wrapped around us, consuming every thought and breath. Outside, an eerie stillness wrapped around us, while the faint glow flickered like a heartbeat, as if it were alive, existing solely for this fleeting moment we shared. With my head resting against Noah's chest, I closed my eyes, surrendering to the soothing embrace of the moment. The burdens of the world slipped away, leaving me suspended in a delicate balance between peace and uncertainty. In that fleeting instant, a thought crept into my mind, coiling around my consciousness like a serpent in the shadows. I could almost see the moment when I would beg him to stay, to breathe life into this house, to fill the silent corners and lonely nights with the warmth of his presence, turning everything vibrant and alive. The idea of welcoming him into my world set off a fire within me, illuminating everything around, brimming with untold potential. Unbeknownst to me, an exhilarating journey awaited us, brimming with unforgettable days and deep bonds poised to emerge. Yet deep within me an undeniable truth stirred. Our tale was far from over. The first light of day hinted at the unfolding chaos that lay ahead. Brace yourself for the unfolding events ahead. As you traverse the depths of this narrative, it becomes evident that my story has woven itself into the very fabric of your being. A cascade of revelations is poised to erupt, and this moment is one you simply cannot afford to miss. Hit that follow button with fervor, turn on those notifications, and let your voice resonate in the echo of the digital realm. Share your reflections on this captivating narrative. I find myself on the brink of anticipation, yearning to hear your insights. Let's plunge into the comments and unleash our thoughts. Your support means the world to me,